is Lisa Brown with Ink and Inspirations, and in this video I just wanted to share this card I made and a few tips on how to put it together using one of our retiring stamps. This is the Elizabeth a la carte stamp. It's a beautiful stamp and I'm going to show you some different ways to use it. I'm not sure of the price. It might be about $8.95, $9.95. Anyway, I'll try to have that posted on the video. But it's just a beautiful ornate stamp that can be used in a couple of different ways. And as I show you this card, I've done it in pink pirouette. It's really a monochromatic card with a little of other color accents like this vanilla here and the crumb cake sentiment. But what I did is I took my base, which is 5.5 by 4 1/4, and I'm doing a landscape card. And I'm going to take some Versamark ink and the Elizabeth stamp, and I want to do a bordering background, so to speak. So I am inking this up, and I'm going to do some embossing. So I'm just going to stamp along the top edge here, and this is not an exact technique, it's just get it on there, and the uniqueness of it is what makes it really pretty. Then I'm going to turn it around and do the open end the same way, and I'm just basically trying to cover the bottom and the top of the card with some interest embossing. Alright, I know you can't see the Versamark. It's an embossing ink. It's clear, also called a watermark ink. I'm going to take some white embossing powder and just sprinkle it on. And you can see now where the Versamark has picked up on that. And then I'm going to get my heat tool and heat it up. And I'm going to flick off some, and I'll look at it, and if I see any stray little powdery embossing powder, I kind of take a brush and loosen it up a little bit. You can also take like a dryer sheet and fabric softener and rub it over your cardstock, which I'm totally out of dryer sheets, so I wasn't able to do that. And that will just let the embossing powder stick to where your Versamark is. Okay, let's watch the magic. Okay, so there is our card base, and now I have taken a piece of this is the Subtles Designer Patterns stack. This is pink pirouette, and I have cut it at 5.5 by 2.5, and I bordered it with the dotted scallop ribbon border punch. Spit it out. And I cut one punched piece in half, and you can see how I just glued it on the back where the little scallops poke out along the edge there. Okay, and then I have embossed this image in white over here to the right, but it doesn't show up just like that so much because it's on a print. So I'm going to take my pink pirouette pad and a Stampin' sponge and just do a little bit of emboss resist. And that is going to make that white embossed image pop very subtly because it's just tone on tone. I'm just using the same color ink here. Alright, now the next little thing I wanted to show you was how I did the little ribbon where it didn't cover up any of the image. So what I did is I took an X-Acto knife, or Stampin' Up! Used to have a hobby blade, but any cutting blade will do, and I'm just going to cut a slit over here to the right of the image, and it's about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch long, and I do that but determine the length depending on the width of my ribbon. Okay, You want it to be able to slide through there. And I'm going to use Very Vanilla seam binding and thread it through the first slit here. Ooh, butterfingers today. Pull it through, and you notice I've left it on the spool. And then come in from behind here. And then I'm just going to pull it through, and I want to come all the way around. You might want to check and make sure it's not twisted in the back so it'll lay pretty. Okay? And I'm just going to pull, come around the back. I'm going to be pretty generous with it so I can tie my bow. And cut it off here. And then you can see now I can bring it around and not cover any of my embossed image, and tie a real pretty bow. Trim as needed. Leave it as long as you want. But yet you still get that same wrapped ribbon look. Tie my bunny ears. I love this ribbon. This is the easiest, the seam binding ribbon is the easiest ribbon to tie into a bow, I think. Great. I hope we get it in all the colors in the new catalog. Okay, and I'll play with that a little more. I'm not going to trim it yet because just not. I'm going to wait till I finish the card. Alright, then what I did is I used Stampin' Dimensionals, and you can see how pretty this border up here just ties in with the image. I stamped Thinking of You from the Teeny Tiny Wishes set onto Naturals white cardstock, and I used Crumb Cake because it's a very soft neutral but yet shows up. I sponged around the edges in Crumb Cake and Pink Pirouette, and then I added some of our little pearl gems there underneath that, and then I'm just going to pop that up with dimensionals on the front of the card, trim my ribbon, and it's going to be ready to go. So if you have any questions, email me at lisa@inkandinspirations.com. Remember, this Elizabeth stamp is retiring. Will be available through May 31st. So if you need something, let me know. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.